Says we're live. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for February 21st. February 21st is the 52nd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 313 days remaining to the end of the year, or 314 if it happens to be a leap year. Today's word is expository. Expository is an adjective that means of or relating to or containing exposition, serving to expound, set forth, or explain. An example of the word expository in a sentence might go something like, his expository writing combined a detailed narrative with insightful interpretation. That's a lot of $10 words to say that he wrote well. This word comes to us from Middle English, Old French before that, and Latin before that. I'd like to take a moment to mention that links to my research are included in the show notes. Ask you to go ahead and click that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and let me know your thoughts in the comments, and you can share this video with others with the link in your email messaging or social media. Also, there is a link in the show notes to my This Day in History playlist. I'll also put that up in the iCards up there in the corner. And with that, we're going to start on February 21st, 1804. The first self-propelling steam engine locomotive made its outing at the Penny and Darren Ironworks in Wales. It worked, but it was so heavy that it crushed the rails that it ran on. The engine was later used for other purposes as a stationary engine. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels published the Communist Manifesto on February 21st, 1848. Somebody needed to tap a knot on those boys' heads. Lucy Hobbs Taylor became the first American woman to graduate from dental school on February 21st, 1866. The Oakland Daily Tribune published its first edition on February 21st, 1874. Now known as the Oakland Tribune, the paper has undergone many changes in ownership and location over the years, as well as other changes besides since then, but it is still around as a weekly newspaper now. The first telephone directory was issued in New Haven, Connecticut on February 21st, 1878. And I thought that would be sufficient right there. But then I thought, I think that I probably have viewers who maybe don't even know what a telephone directory is. We always called them phone books growing up, and you had your white pages with the residential numbers in them, and then the yellow pages, which was mostly businesses. Back then, all the telephones were wired to the wall. If they weren't mounted on the wall, they were still wired to the wall. And nowadays we call that a landline, and not many people are keeping a landline. It's more of a rarity now. So many people have mobile phones now. All righty, the newly completed Washington Monument was dedicated on February 21st, 1885. The New Yorker magazine published its first issue on February 21st, 1920. The New Yorker is a weekly magazine with commentary, criticism, essays, fiction, and cartoons. Well, it started out as a weekly back then, but it now is published 47 times a year, with 5 of those issues covering a 2-week span. New Yorker magazine has typically focused on the cultural life of New York City and enjoyed a wide audience outside of New York as well. And I have to wonder, given the way things have been over the last year, how New York City and the New Yorker magazine are doing about now. Just don't know. If you happen to have any insight along those lines, drop a note in the comments. On February 21st, 1958, the symbol we know as the peace symbol or peace sign was commissioned as a logo for the British Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament, or CND. The symbol was adopted by anti war and counterculture activists in the 60s and 70s. How about that? And for the longest time, I had a little thing around here with some of them in there. Where did my peace symbols go? Well, doggone it. I must have cleaned house and put them away. Alrighty, on February 21st, 1975, former United States Attorney General John Mitchell and former White House aides H.R. Haldeman and John Ehrlichman were sentenced to prison for their parts in the Watergate scandal. And interestingly, about that time was when the peace symbols were all over the place. I'm still looking for them. No, I must have gone and really put them up for sure. You know, they're not right here. I've got a little box of them that I make charms out of them. So anyway, the peace symbol. Alrighty, that is all I have for you today. I hope you learned something you didn't know before. I know I sure did. The peace symbols, for example, I remember those coming out, but I didn't know that they started out as a logo for the campaign for nuclear disarmament. Anyway, links to my research are included in the show notes. I'll put a link to that as well as last year's video up in the iCards. And before I sign off, a personal note. My husband, Mr. Bowers, inspired me to appreciate history many, many years ago when I first met him. And I certainly enjoy his knowledge of and insight into history and historical events. That said, you know, since I started making these videos, I've picked up a few viewers along the way, and you all inspire me to continue, and I thank you for that. And I want to say a special hello to Braxton and Cindy. And I hope you all have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And now we're going to look for the thank you very much button. Thank you very much.